Brexit movement. There is a report that says he could take part in Brexit negotiations. That's a shocker, isn't it? Fox News contributor Nigel Farage is with us. All right, Nigel, tonight I believe, stop laughing, tonight I believe Prime Minister May meets with the new French President, Emmanuel Macron. I guess they're going to talk Brexit. Have you any involvement in those talks whatsoever?
In those talks, I have no involvement whatsoever. However, here in the European Parliament, of course, I'm talking to all the key players, and I have to say that in the course of the last week, things have changed. A week ago, 70% of the British people had a settled view that we should leave the European Union, whether they'd voted for it or not. Now, after this disastrous general election, the perception here in Brussels is that Theresa May and Britain are actually playing with a very, very weak hand. So, yeah, things are not as good as they were.
What about the British? Are they still committed to leaving the European Union?
Well, I have to say that the mood music since the general election has been alarming to people like myself. There is now talk of a significant watering down to what's called a soft Brexit, which sounds all very jolly and lovely. Are we going to leave the European Union? Yes, of course we are. Will we leave the Treaty of Rome? Yes, of course we will. But there is a real possibility now that we'll finish up in 2 years' time, still paying them money, still having their courts having a say, still having their laws, and maybe even open free movement borders. So let's put it like this. I felt this time last year we climbed a mountain. Yeah. I feel we're halfway back down there again.
Okay, I've got to talk to you about the British election where the socialist, the left-leaning socialist Labour Party, picked up a lot of votes, especially amongst young people and minorities. And can you explain this? Why do the Brits suddenly favour 1952 socialism all over again? What's going on?
Oh, well, Marxism is very appealing if you've never been exposed to it before or seen what history has done with it. And, you know, Corbyn went round saying to our students, look, I will wipe away all your tuition fees. I will promise you a land where there'll be money for this and money for that, and it'll all be absolutely lovely. And young people were very attracted by it. And can I say, many of them were so attracted by it, they actually voted twice. They voted once where they live, and secondly where they're students. So that needs a bit of looking at.
I would think so. One more for you, Nigel. Senator John McCain here in America, Republican. He says former President Obama was a better American leader than President Trump. What do you make of that?
I think Senator John McCain is a fully paid up member of the bitter and twisted club. And even if Donald Trump was able to, produce a few fish and a few loaves and feed the 5,000, I think Senator McCain would still criticise him. I have to say that I now disregard virtually everything that man says. There is no doubt that after that 9-day tour that Trump took, and in particular the speech in Riyadh, that he has now established himself overseas as a man, of some considerable measure. And the critics in the New York Times and everything else can say what they think, but when Trump travelled around the world, believe me, people actually noticed.
Okay, we hear you, Nigel Farage. Thanks for joining us. As usual, Nigel, we will see you again very soon.